We have a lot of type of neurons. An example can be a sensory neuron that carry impulses from the sense organs such as the eyes and the ears to the spinal cord and brain. Also motor neurons carry impulses from the brain and the spinal cord to muscles and glands. And also interneuron that do the high level work. They process information from sensory neurons and then send commands to other interneurons or motor neurons. We are doing this project to know how the neurons work and how they produce energy and nerve impulse, also to know how addictions can affect these types of connections and how it can affect your brain. The nerve impulse. A neuron remains in its resting state until it receives a stimulus large enough to start a nerve impulse. An impulse begins when a neuron is stimulated by another neuron or by the environment. Once it begins, the impulse travels quickly down the axon, moves even more rapidly as it skips from one node to the next. Addictive drugs act on a dopamine synapses in a number of ways. Methamphetamine releases a flood of dopamine producing an instant high. Cocaine keeps dopamine made from output pulses like heroin stimulate receptors elsewhere in the brain that lead the dopamine release. Nicotine, the addictive substance in tobacco, and alcohol, the most widely abused drug in the United States, also cause increased release of dopamine. At the end of a neuron, the impulse reaches an axon terminal which may pass the impulse along another cell. The point at which a neuron transfers an impulse to another cell is called a synapse. A space called the synaptic shift separates the axon terminal from the adjacent cell. The axon terminal at a synapse contains tiny vesicles filled with neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that transmit an impulse across a synapse to another cell.
This project will consist of 4 phases explained below. The first phase consists of extracting the nicotine from a cigarette. This will be done by opening a cigarette and separating the precious tobacco leaves and placing them in a small container with water and salt. We will cover it and mix it to let it sit for a couple of days. In the second phase, we will prepare monosodium glutamate solution and dissolve it in water so that a liquid solution remains. In the third phase, we will boil frozen crickets, which will be the most important part in this project. In this phase, we will use an electrode to hit the neurons. In the last phase, with some syringes, we will inject the previously prepared solution and inject a few drops in the abdomen part of the cricket in order to see the reaction of the neurons.
For this experiment, we will use a multimeter, crickets, ice water or a freezer, salt, distilled water, petri dishes, 1 milliliter syringes, plastic pipettes, and tobacco. First, we will make a saline solution combining table salt and distilled water with baking soda. Then we will make another solution, taking a cigarette and displace it and taking out the tobacco leaves and place it on another container. We will mix it with the saline solution and place it like that for a few days. Then, previous to that, we will have some freeze crickets on a freezer, and we will take them when they are not moving anymore, and we put them on a petri dish with the abdomen facing up. We will open the cricket and insert the multimeter into the cricket and see what type of electricity it makes. Then, when we already saw how much the cricket makes of electricity, we will insert with a syringe the nicotine solution we made and see what difference it made.
I think that with this project we will conscientize all the people to have conscience of the damages of the drugs and some addictive things, like nicotine for and yes.
The idea is already pretty organized. Thanks to Lizeth, the idea has already established in a very good way. She has already implemented all the ideas, all the design, and she's a pretty good leader. Mariana and Victor, they're always there to help, they're always there to lend a hand when it is needed. Myself included, I always try to help, I always try to lend a hand, and I try to help Lizeth to organize a little bit the team. Thanks to her, the team has already joined in, and we are already pretty established.